What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Jayana, licensed esthetician and a professional makeup artist. So, for today's tutorial, we have another client here. So, in my last tutorial, that was the bride. So, this is the maid of honor, and we also did a consultation on her as well. So, with my consultations, I like to do complimentary consultations for the brides, but for this special bride, I gave her a discount of offering her and her bride's maid or her maid of honor a free consultation. So to start off with the tutorial, we are doing a little skin prepping. So I cleansed her skin with micellar water, toned the skin with some rose water, and now I'm using some hyaluronic acid from Good Molecules, and then I'm going to use the Embroylisse cream to moisturize. I am thinking about purchasing more of a spray form and also I need to get some exfoliating pads. Later on in the video, and you may see it, you may not, but the makeup started breaking up on her forehead, and that was just simply because she had dead skin. So I am going to purchase some exfoliating pads and get a spray hydrating serum. I think a spray would just be a little bit easier, honestly, and it won't take so much time as I'm sitting here, massaging it into her skin. But I may just switch back and forth. Plus, it's just some products that I want to try. So and I tickled her neck. But I'm just doing some massaging into the skin because massaging actually stimulates the skin and brings in blood circulation just to open up everything. Also too, when you're skin prepping, it's going to help with having a longer lasting effect of the makeup. Your skin is going to feel totally better once that makeup comes off and when the makeup comes on. And I always say, if your client doesn't look like a glazed donut, you didn't do it right. So I applied a peppermint lip mask to her lips just to give those some hydration. Now we're brushing those brows into place, and I am going to powder those brows down using some setting powder. I like to do that just to dry them up, mattify them because, you may have gotten some serum or moisturizer or toner onto the brows, and I want them to be dry before I put on my next product. So after doing that and letting that powder settle in just a little bit, we went in with some Got To Be Glue brow gel, and I'm doing that to set and mold the brows in place. I just keep the shape that they are already in and just try to fill them in like that. I don't try to do a laminated look. Laminated brows are cute, but for this specific event, we want everything to just look natural. Natural as looking glam makeup, whatever you want to call it, is my specialty as a makeup artist. I just want to give you something that elevates you, especially if you've never worn makeup. Probably be a little scared if it's a little too dramatic or if it's a little too full glam. You just want something to give you that extra So after doing that with the brows, I am doing some color matching on her skin. So with her face, she was lighter in the center of the face and darker around the perimeter of her face. So I used two different foundations. Those two foundations that I used were e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation, which is one of my favorite foundations on the market today. And I have it in the shade 53 Deep Neutral and 60 Rich Cool. And that went around the neck and also the perimeter of her face. Now, on the day of her wedding, I am going to try to match a little bit to her neck, a little bit more to her neck, because she's wearing a one shoulder dress and the chest area may be exposed just a little bit. But because she has different shades on her face, I'm just going to try to match whatever shade is on her face and just try to bring everything together. And that also too would help with me using concealer and bronzer. So now what I'm doing is concealing the brows. So the brows are set in place. They're not going to move, and this helps me out a lot, especially when it comes to carving those out. So I'm taking some, this is concealer I think I was using from NYX. And I also mixed it with some concealer I have from Makeup Revolution. It's just something I quickly found at Walmart. And I really like those concealers. The Can't Stop, Won't Stop concealer from NYX, I never thought to actually purchase it. But it was a really pretty color match on her skin, and I love the formulation. I love a full coverage concealer, but I also love a creamy concealer because it just makes it easier to blend out. And that is why I chose these two concealers. And notice how I'm trying to match to her lid space as much as possible, because the shadow that we're doing today is just a simple brown look. And like I said, she wanted her brides to just have this soft brown matte look. Something that is just going to elevate their look, elevate how they already look and not make them look so dramatic. You want to be photo ready when it comes to your wedding. So trying to match your skin tone, trying to match your hues, trying to match discoloration is really gonna help when that camera flash gets on you. So yeah, we're just blending all that out, and then I'm gonna take a fluffy brush and just blend all that out onto the lids, and then we'll move on to shadow. Alright, so what I'm doing is setting that concealer using some setting powder, and then for the palette today, I'm going to use Bolive Beaute's Nude Essential palette, and then use the Juvia's Places bronzer in the shade Dark. I love using bronzer as a shadow. Typically, your bronzer is going to match, you know, your skin tone the best, so it's a perfect just base tone shade, base color, and it's perfect to just wear, especially when you're probably not as advanced in eyeshadow, but you're throwing your bronzer, put a little shimmer, you know, to make it look like a nighttime glam, and you're that girl, you know. But also I like using the Bolive Beaute's palette, the Nude Essential palette. I've used this palette a lot on people. It's just the perfect browns for all skin tones. And I think this palette, I love the warmth in it. I love warm tones, but I also think that I can control how much I put on the eye, and I think it just looks so pretty on pretty much everyone. So I'm taking 2 dark brown shades and then a little bit of a lighter shade on the outer edges, just to make sure all the colors blend together and become one. And then I put a darker shade and also use Juvia's Places bronzer palette and put it on the lid. What I'm thinking about whenever we go to the wedding, I am going to take maybe a little bit of a darker shade in that crease, just to add a little bit of dimension and probably wing her out a little bit. I think she would look fire with a little brown wing. Also too, I think it would just add a little bit more of something to the eye look, and it would help me too with applying the lashes to make sure that that lash line is smoked out as well. Wasn't aiming for a smoky look, but I definitely want to add dimension and definition to this brown look. Alright y'all, so now we're gonna move on to the brows. A little intervention, or a little, you know, disclaimer here. I have tried to record this voiceover several times. I need a better editing app because I don't know what's going on with the glitch of iMovie. It's really aggravating. But anyway, we're doing brows. I'm using a Colourpop pencil in the shade dark brown. I love this pencil because it's so precise, and you can be light-handed with the pencil and the product is still going to show through. If you're having issues with brows, if you are wanting your brow to look a certain way, be as light as you can be, and then use your spoolie to blend in the products. Let me tell you something, a natural looking brow that you can snatch up, that you can, you know, really form that arch, all just depends on you being light-handed. And that also is something you can use with makeup, just being light-handed. Next, we are priming the skin. So she has what I like to call, or what we like to call in the aesthetics world, combination skin. So she was oily in the center, but it's not just about being oily in the center of your face. It's more so about your pores being a little bit enlarged on the face. So she was a little bit shiny, not oily, shiny on the forehead, but her pores are a little bit enlarged on the nose. And then on the outskirts of her face, I could tell that she had a little bit of dry patches. So that right there tells you that she has combination skin. So what I did, besides the skin prep, because skin prep is very important, do not skip skin prep. If you're having any issues, I'm always going to ask, what are you doing to prep your skin? But you can depend on primers, but just not solely. So I'm using e.l.f.'s Power Grip Primer. This is great for oily skin, and this also is great for normal dry skin as well. I like the gripping primer because it grips to the makeup instead of gripping to the skin. Also too, I just like the glow that gripping primers give to the skin. So for foundation, primer I use for the center of the face is the Mattfying primer from Smashbox. It mattifies the skin and it controls the shine. So foundation, which I will be listing down in the description box because I think I told y'all wrong earlier, but I told y'all before, we use 2 different foundations because she's darker around her face and lighter in the center of her face. So blending all that out using the Real Techniques brush that I did spray with some Morphe setting mist. I am going to purchase the setting mist in the gold can because that also is a prepping spray. And I just want to implement a little bit of some skills and techniques that I've learned over these past few weeks, because I'm always watching makeup tutorials. I'm always studying under some of the greatest makeup artists out here, and I'm always down to learn new techniques, because makeup is not complacent. Makeup is not makeup, you don't do the makeup the same on every single person. You know, you might have to switch it up. So makeup is full of techniques, and I like to take those techniques and implement it into my look as well. So yeah, we're blending all this out with the Real Techniques brush. And then what do? Always after taking my brush, I go back in with a damp sponge. The damp sponge picks up any excess. As much as I love a full glam like the other ones, I believe that these specific clients wanted coverage, but not too much coverage, but wanted things to look skin-like. Talk to your clients. Talk to your clients. See what they want. See what they envision. See what, you know, matches them, matches their personality. These two clients, they didn't really wear makeup. So in my eyes, it's like, okay, you never really worn makeup. One client had their makeup done before, but she didn't like how dramatic it looked. So let's keep everything as natural and skin-like as possible. Which is why I like using the e.l.f. foundation, because it gives you that satin finish, and I love a satin finish foundation. Now on to concealers. So I'm taking those same two concealers that I used to prep for lids, and we're going to do that to bring some highlighting and some evenness to her face. So I am carving out the very top of the brow, pretty much the front of the brow, as you see, just to make sure they're even as possible. And then I took that same concealer and put it under the eyes, the cupid's bow, and the chin, and we're going to use that damp sponge just to blend it all out. Blending everything into the skin, and I went ahead and did the chin, the cupid's bow, and the forehead, and now I'm going to the eyes. So to ensure that you really get into the eye space, make sure your client is looking up, not holding their head up, but looking straight up, just to ensure that you can blend out that concealer under the eye space. You want to get into those folds, you want to get into those creases, and sometimes your beauty blender can be a little too big. So that's why I pulled out my eyeshadow brush, which is a very small brush, and I really got into those creases and those folds to ensure that everything was blended out. And you want to be as soft as possible because you are around the client's eyes, so just be safe when you're doing this step. After blending out, I will be applying some powder, and the powder I'm using is the one from Laura Mercier. This is one of my favorite powders. I don't think it gets talked about enough. I'm lying to y'all. I did not go in with powder. I went in with cream bronzer. I am so sorry. I'm moving too fast. The bronzer I'm using / contour, well, actually it's a contour stick, is from Fenty Beauty, and I went in and chiseled her face a little bit, added some dimension by using this stippling brush and dipping onto my stick and going onto the forehead and the chin, and I went a little bit on the nose and the jawline. And then after this, we're gonna go in with some blush. The blushes I decided to use were ones from e.l.f. The e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush and Juvia's Place Blush. And I just, you know, blended the two together. It gave this pink, kind of purplish vibe, purplish tone. But I'm thinking I want to make it a little bit more purple because I thought it looked beautiful on her skin. And here's the cool thing about this wedding. It's going to be in February. It's going to be the day after Valentine's Day. So, you know, we're going to bring some love and joy to the face. So I'll probably add a little bit more pink, but also for her skin tone, we're going to go for purple because that's really going to show up on the skin. So I'm going to keep that in mind whenever you go to the day of the wedding. So blending all that out, and then after I blend that out, we're going to go back in with my foundation brush just to ensure there are no harsh lines and making sure that everything is blended out smoothly and seamlessly. Now we're going into powder. Powder that I am using is from Laura Mercier. I tell y'all these all the time. Laura Mercier powder in medium translucent honey. That's probably not in translucent honey, sorry. It could be scary at first because you're like, why am I looking ashy? But trust the process. Once you set that powder, going with some Morphe setting mist or whatever setting mist that you have, you'll see how well it blends into the skin, how it just melts like butter. So trust me, y'all. And it's very blurring, very smoothing, and it doesn't feel dry to me. I've read that some feel dry, especially for dry skin girls, but it never has felt dry for me. It has lasted a pretty long time though. Same thing that you did with the concealer, make sure you do it the same thing with the powder. Ensure that your client is looking up so that you can get into those creases, into those folds, to make sure that everything is set. And now I'm going in with some bronzer, and I'm using two shades from Juvia's Place. It's tan and dark. Dark is going around on the perimeter of her face, same place that I put the contour. Tan is going in the center just to set it. I didn't have a pressed powder on me, but I am going to purchase some pressed powders, and I'm going to do that just to ensure that everything is set into place. Right there on the forehead, I don't know if y'all saw, I did notice some peeling, and that is because she had dry skin. So whenever you're skin prepping, make sure you're really analyzing the skin before you put the makeup on. So that was a mistake that I did, but I'll make sure I don't make that in the future by exfoliating her skin. So now we're setting it all in, powders and liquids, using a Morphe setting mist. And then I'm gonna go back in with my foundation brush and sponge just to press all that into the skin to ensure that it doesn't move. And of course at the end, I'm gonna lock it all in with a setting spray. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Matter of fact, thank you so much for supporting me this entire year. I've been up and down. You know, it's hard sometimes for me to push the content out, but I'm still gonna do it because I'm doing it for y'all. I'm doing it for me, but I'm doing it for y'all because all 211 of y'all keep watching. And I love y'all and I appreciate it. Y'all truly are my YouTube family. And I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed that y'all watch me. I feel so blessed for the viewership. And I just feel that in 2025, it's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a great year. So thank you so much for supporting me, y'all. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you click that bell so that you're notified. And give this video a big thumbs up. Thank y'all again so much for watching all my tutorials. We are finishing up the lips, putting in the lashes. Y'all about glued her eye down, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're just gonna make progress and do better. I was freaking out, really. I was being calm, but I was freaking out. I said, did I just glue her eye? I'm gonna be more careful next time. But now we're locking it in with some mascara, and that's pretty much it with the look. The pictures that you're about to see next are her before, and this is when we prep the skin. So here we are, we're prepped, we're glowing, and here we are in the after. So I hope y'all enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all in my next one.